story. It's just gonna be what if I was in a show where there's shinobi. One of them's called Sakura, the other one's called Sasuke. So Naruto's not gonna exist in this timeline, or he will. He'll just be, you know, a little older. Well, he's just gonna be dead when he was alive. And they had 4 children: Minami, aka Minami, and Kanito, and Christian, me. Christian's gonna have the Minato blonde hair, but of course he's gonna have the stripes on his face, well actually the whiskers, and the blue eyes that Kushina has though. He's gonna be a prodigy shinobi, way stronger than Naruto would have been when he was a kid, and way stronger than Minato and Kushina were combined as a kid. And he's a prodigy, insane. And he doesn't really care for his siblings because they're just annoying. All they do is try and bully him, but that doesn't even work. His sister tries to use advantage that she's the Hokage's daughter to get through stuff, and Kanito just likes to read books and be quiet. So at home, when they're 5 years old, it's time for him to eat, and Christian's just eating his egg rice, whatever that stuff's called in the anime that Kakashi ate, with fish. He goes, I start eating slower. Kushina says, Christian, what's wrong? He says, why do I get the feeling that we have another family member? Besides us 5. We definitely have another one. You can stop hiding it. As he pulls out the thing, whatever it's called, he says, no one in the entire Leaf Village will tell me. So what's going on? Why won't they tell us? Kanito says, let's not worry about it. Christian says, you're always so soft. You need to be serious more times. He gets a little bit of sad face, and Kushina says, apologize. He goes, not like I did anything, as he walks to his room. She goes, where's Nark? Where's Minami? Oh yeah, Minami has, thing hair. Actually, Christian has 2 red streaks in his hair. Actually, a red streak that goes up his hair, like an Ishinoya does with the blonde thing. And she says, where's Minami? She says, probably with Kanito says, I think she's in a fight again. Kushina says, damn her, why does she always have to get in fights with people? Kanito says, well, she's probably fighting over Sasuke again. When she comes home, she's got 1 black eye, and she's got blood on her face. Kushina runs up and says, You brat, what did you do this time? Okay, no, she doesn't say you brat. She says, Stalker and Ino kept saying that Sasuke was theirs, but he's mine. So Kushina looks at her saying, so if you murdered 20 people right in front of my face, and you were taken to court for it, would you think I'd be on your side, or the defendant's side? She says, obviously my side. He says, wrong, I'd be on the defendant's side. I'm not gonna go stick with my daughter who literally just murdered 20 people. Minato arrives home saying, Tadema. Oh yeah, let's go through their crushes. Minami, her crush, Sasuke Uchiha. Kanito, his crush, Hinata Hyuga. He likes her. He's not like a weird one who just likes her because of her looks. He likes her personality because she's quiet and soft like him. And she also finds an interest in books and being quiet and being nice. Christian doesn't have one. He just thinks everyone in this world's annoying. He finds everyone that he meets annoying that talks too much. He is the most popular in the class along with Sasuke. Minato says, alright guys, after E.T. says, alright guys, get ready for training. Christian says in his head, great, now he's home and now he's gonna do it. Christian opens his door and saying, fine, I'll go. He says, and I want you three to actually use teamwork instead of just Christian fighting me while you two just... Well, Kinato gets scared and Minami keeps on going on about how Sasuke would easily beat Kinato. Oh yeah, Christian has half the QB in him, and so does Kushina. Christian says, Actually, don't know. Kinato and Minami has it as well. Christian, on the other hand, has the Ushiogan and the Uzumaki chains. Minato and thing. Then, when they're doing that, when they finish the training, they walk inside, and then an hour later, they hear Christian overhears Minato and Kushina crying in their room. Christian listens over to hear, and she says, I miss Naruto. Minato says, I do too. Why did he have to die on that day? Christian thinks in his head, who the hell's Naruto? As he says, I'll ignore it for now and ask them tomorrow. In the morning, he says, Mom, Dad, who's Naruto? They go, what do you mean? He says, I heard you guys crying in your room, saying you missed Naruto and he died on that day. He says, well, he's your twin brother. All of you, he's your brother. Christian says, so is he older than us, younger than us? She says, well, I don't know how to say this, but he's been transported to a different universe. Christian says, what are you talking about? She says, basically this man teleported him through an entire universe where we're dead. Christian says, oof, I feel bad. Minami says, you never show your emotions. Christian says, 'cause I don't feel like it, and it's not fun. Your precious Sasuke-kun doesn't either. All he shows is anger. She says, don't talk about Sasuke like that. Christian says, yeah, princess. Keep dreaming Sasuke ain't going out with you. It's time for the final day of the academy. They walk in. He says, you three. As they walk in, it's Kinato sits next to Hinata. Minami sits next to Sasuke. Christian sits in the back where the books are. Christian's looking through the books, reading them. But there's nothing on it. There's just some stuff about boring shinobi history. So when it's time for them to go into quiet time reading, Christian walks out of the room and goes to the library of the academy, and he reads for anything about Naruto Uzumaki. He's looking and looking until he finally finds a book called the Namikaze Family. Christian opens up the record of it. Well, actually, he doesn't. He finds a book he looks through all the family books and finally sees Namikaze Family. He pulls that out and reads it and sees the first one, Minato Namikaze. Christian says, classic him. Then he flips the page and sees Kushina Uzumaki. He goes, whatever. Next, Kinato Namikaze. Christian goes, then the next one is Minami Namikaze. Christian says, okay. Then he looks at the next page saying, Christian Namikaze. He goes, that's me. Then he looks at the final page and sees Naruto Uzumaki. They only have a baby picture of him. In his description says, Uzumaki baby, son of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki was killed on the day of his birth by the nine-tailed fox. He has three siblings: Christian Uzumaki, Minako Uzumaki, Minami Uzumaki, Minami Namikaze, and Kinato Uzumaki, and Christian Uzumaki. Christian goes, wow. So he really did die on that attack. He says, any things? Christian says, as he thinks to himself, Mom and Dad seem depressed every day when every day they get more and more sad. What can I do to fix this? Soon they're going to be so sad that they won't even be able to talk to us. Especially Kinato, because he looks identical to Naruto. He says, Then he looks through books and sees reanimation jutsu found in the scroll-up ceiling. This jutsu can bring anyone back to life with another dead person's body, and if you have the soul, if you know who they are, and put it into like a little note. Christian says, only a dead body, huh? Then disappears. And goes, then he looks through the bingo book to find a weak, easy rogue ninja to use as his sacrifice. Naruto in heaven goes, oh no, is he gonna do it? Then he just ignores it. Christian goes, as he runs off to find this hidden leaf shinobi that's a rogue ninja, and he's pretty weak. He finds him and kills him instantly, going and checks it off in the bingo book, which everyone's bingo book changes. They get news of it that a rogue leaf ninja has been killed by someone who's called the Red Assassin. Christian grabs the body and brings it, and buries it, so then no one finds it. Then he jumps to the scroll of ceiling, picks it up, and disappears. Minato saw him for a split second as Christian disappeared. Then he goes to the forest, opening it up, looking for the reanimation jutsu. He finally finds it and learns it in a day. He says, perfect. Then he also finds a jutsu called the Flying Thunder God and the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He picks up the Shadow Clone Jutsu and the Flying Raijin Seal as he creates one going, and also tons of Water Style, Wind Style, and Lightning Style Jutsu. He goes, perfect, as he closes up the scroll, as Minato is right in front of him. Christian goes, he says, give me back the scroll. Christian says, here you go. Christian says, but then he pulls the scroll back and stabs Minato in the arm. He goes, why, you little brat, why the hell would you do that to me? Christian says, I know it's you, Mizuki, as he poofs into Mizuki. Christian says, you really thought my dad would just tell me to hand it over? He'd want me to do it, since I caused this mess. As he kicks Mizuki in the face, and then he goes, Minato's watching from the crystal ball along with the third Hokage, and Kushina is watching as well. And Kinato and Mizumi. Mizumi, I don't know! I'm gonna call her Mizumi for now. Oh, Minami, Mina, and all of them are watching him fight. He goes, as he punches him right in Mizuki's nose, breaking it. He goes, Christian says, and I can also hear his conversation. As he says, you won't stop me from bringing him back! As he cuts him in the cheek. Minato, Kushina, and everyone thinks, who does he want to bring back? Christian says, and throws a kunai, stabbing him into the chest as he dies. Minato is shocked, and everyone in there is shocked that he just killed someone. As he says, another one. As he says, lightning palm, as he puts a crater in the ground, as he puts him there and buries him under, putting a tombstone saying, Mizuki died because he was a thief. As he jumps away, as he goes to a certain place that the third Hokage is watching, and he picks up the body. He says, that's the rogue ninja that he was killed. He goes and then says, then tons of weird paper stuff comes all around the Rogue Ninja. As he turns down into the ground, he goes, then he bites his finger going, summoning jutsu! As he pulls up the coffin and sees a kid Naruto, aka the Naruto that we saw in canon, but it's a little different clothes. With like cracks in his face because of the unreanimation. And when he opens his eyes, he's got pitch black eyes with blue in the middle. He pulls them out, going, Christian does, stupid thing I did, puts them back in, and waits for and then he sticks the roots back in him so then they can so they can attach his soul into him. He goes, as he puts Naruto's soul inside the reanimation. He goes, then he walks out. He says, what's your name? He says, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, believe it. Christian says, Christian says, Taco. He goes, I'm hungry, Dr. Bio. Christian goes, yeah, no. He says in his head, no. He says, Naruto, come with me. But then Naruto falls down. Christian says, idiot. He says, hey, don't call me that. Christian picks him up and puts him on his back. He says, what are you doing? He says, bringing you home. He jumps and jumps. Naruto says, you still haven't told me your name. Christian says, Christian Namikaze. As he's jumping. He says, where do you live? He says, at the 4th Hokage's house. He says, wait, what? Christian says, yeah, I'm the 4th Hokage's kid. And so are you, Naruto. As he jumps, he says, I am the 4th Hokage's son? Christian says, yep. And I'm your brother. He goes, as he takes him home and knocks on the door, Kushina says, yeah, Christian, you're home. He says, Christian says, I brought someone home with me. He says, did you find a friend? He goes, I found my brother. He goes, Naruto? As he moves to the left, and Naruto is there. Naruto says, Mom? And they both have a mother and son reunion. As Minato joins in, Christian says, I'm going to my room now. I'm tired. He says, no, you don't, mister. Remember, it's 6 o'clock now. You can't be going to sleep like that. You know if you do that, you'll be waking up too early in the morning and have too much energy. Christian goes, Christian thinks in his head, saying, I'll go ask Minato if he wants to go do something. He runs up and says, hey, Minato. He goes, yeah, what's wrong? What's up? He says, wanna make something with me? He goes, what do you mean? He says, oh yeah, Naruto's here. Say hi. This is your brother. Naruto goes, hi. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Believe it. He says, hi, I'm Minato Uzumaki. Nice to meet you. Naruto says, why are you two have two different last names? Christian says, we go by either one. Our last names are technically, my middle name is Uzumaki and my last name is Namikaze. His middle name is Namikaze and his last name is Uzumaki. We all have it all switched up. So I'm guessing you're Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. He goes, yeah! Christian says, well, me and Minato are about to go invent something. He says, cool, can I come? Christian says, I don't think you're too damn. Christian says, let's go then. He says, you got the parts, Kinato? He goes, yep. They put together like a little, it looks like a ruler, but it's like a cylinder, and it's got like a little piece at the bottom, at the top that's like sticking out a little bit, and it goes down. Christian says, there we go, and then there's a hole on the top of it. Naruto says, what is this? Christian says, hold on, let us make a couple of more, then you'll tell. As Christian puts his hand out, and then he says, copy jutsu, as he copies them and creates 3 more. As he creates 4 more. He goes, done. He says, what are those? Now can you tell me what they are? Christian says, chakra sabers. You put your chakra into it and it becomes a blade as it gradually drains your chakra, but you now have an unbreakable weapon. I mean, if they don't hit the bottom of the weapon, of course. Which is made of pure titanium. Which means it won't break. Naruto says, where did you get those materials? When he's about to say ills, Kushina yells, Christian, Kinato, stop spending our money on inventions! Christian says, Naruto goes, oh, you guys stole, didn't you? Christian says, we do that sometimes, but we never tell you. She doesn't understand yet, but because this is our first invention that we've actually made, the other ones are failed. He says, as she punches the door down, of course with like her angered, Christian goes, uh-oh. He says, now you little idiots, why would you do that? Christian says, we're gonna make good profits off of it, and you get to have most of the money? He goes, oh, okay. As she walks out the door, he says, but I'm gonna need chakra if you want it. He says, what do you mean? He says, I need to do the copy jutsu about 100 times if I want to sell these. He says, oh, here you go, and hands him, and gives him, and he's given chakra. He goes, and creates about 100 and puts them in a box. Then he says, tomorrow morning we'll go sell them. In the morning they head off to a little spot and like a store convenience and ask if they can sell stuff here too. And a storesman says, sure guys, sure. Christian they put down their desk thingy. They say, and the title is called Uzumaki Family. Look, their last names are Uzumaki, I don't care. Uzumaki Family Chakra Sabers, now for $10 only. As they put them all in box. They have different colored ones, different shape. Yeah, just different colors. The first customer to walk up is a little boy with like a weird metal thing on his hat and like something going in the back of it. And the third Hokage behind him. He says, Gramps, can I get this? One of these? He says, the third Hokage says, yes, Konohamaru, we can get one. He says, how about 2 so then you can play with me? He says, fine. And says, Christian, we'll take 2 of these. Christian says, $20. He goes, here you go. Christian does 2. He says, now what color would you like, little guy? He goes, how about a blue one? He says, Gramps? He says, I'll take a black one. Christian does. Konohamaru whispers, old people in the black color, what is with it? He says, Konohamaru, if you say that, I'm not buying it. He goes, sorry. Christian says, now here you go. And then they walk off. He hears and whispers, are these just toys? Christian says, no, they're made out of pure titanium so they won't break. Just put your chakra at the tip of it and it creates a blade. He says, kinda dangerous, so, like, don't stab each other with them? He goes, thanks for the heads up. He says, Konohamaru, we have to be careful with these. Do not stab anybody with them. He says, this is also a good tool to help you train. Konohamaru says, yeah. Christian says, after a day they have no more and they've sold all of them. Christian says, phew. But he says, then when the last person goes to buy the last one, Christian says, wait a minute, copy jutsu. And it creates 100 more and says, here you go. He goes, thank you. As he walks away, Christian picks them up going, I guess I'll sell some of these at the academy tomorrow. as he puts them all in a bag and brings them home. Kushina says, "How'd it go, guys?" Christian says, "We got that cash!" He gives her most of the money, her and Minato most of the money, since they're the ones who they stole their money for. He says, "That's much more money than we needed." He says, "I'm gonna go sell these at the academy tomorrow. I'll lower the price since they're children. I'll lower it for about $5 for them." When he goes to sleep, it's time for the team selecting. Christian walks in, and so does the entire class, and Christian introduced Naruto as their brother, who's a reanimation, which means he's technically not alive. Christian says that he's working on a jutsu to finally rebuild him. Hinata kind of blushes, but a tiny bit, but she realizes, I don't want to make Minato sad, so I'm going to stick to him. Then Christian says, "Alright class, I have a quick announcement. If anyone wants to buy any of these chakra sabers, which are only $5, you can." Sasuke says, "Pfft, what are they supposed to do?" Christian says, "Help with your chakra control. They're also a great weapon." He says, "Iruka sensei?" He goes, "Already on it." He pulls out a brick and throws it up in the air. Christian does, and cuts it in half, going, and turns it into dust. Everyone goes, "Whoa!" He says, "So come get your chakra saber for $5. He says, "Kakabashi!" As a shadow clone goes and sits in like the hallway, waiting for someone to buy one. The teachers buy it by like 20 of them to help with their students. Christian says, "I'm making good profits." And when it's time, the first team is coming Naruto Uzumaki. Oh yeah, Iruka says, "Alright Naruto, you have to quickly learn a jutsu. You have to quickly do the clone jutsu." And in the transformation, Naruto goes, "Easy, I've practiced this all in heaven." He goes, "Toom," and creates shadow clone, and creates two clones, and they're both transformed as Iruka. He goes, "Good job, Naruto. You get to pass. You're on now. Let's get started. Team 7: Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha." Sakura says in her head, "Damn it! That Naruto guy is on Sasuke's team. I better be on it." He says, "And Sakura Haruno." Minami says, "Damn it! How come that billboard bro got on his team?" Christian thinks in his head, saying, "Minami's probably pissed. Whenever." I don't know when we can play, Kaden. I don't know. I do not know, Kaden. I do not know. We can play maybe later on. Maybe at like 8. I'll be back. Yes. for Team 8. Okay, 7 o'clock, Hayden, 7 o'clock. I'll do 7. So, Team 8. Kiba, Inuzuka, Hinata, Hyuga, and Shino Rame. Hinata would say, I said, dang it, I wanted to be on a team with my friend Hinata. Team 12. Come on. That's it for this